Hello.
People. I'm not fond of people.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably start grounded or something. I'll probably start grounded or something. Time. Just fine. I was trying to block things out a little bit. Yeah. There it is. In case you don't know, so now I have to get good. Stuff. You know, I was in the army for a long time, and I've had moments of trauma And I was married and got divorced. Okay. And other things. I've moved around a lot. Made whole new friends every 3 or 4 years or so. And when I was growing up, I moved every so often. I was never really in one spot for too long. So, you know, sort of normal. A little bit. A little bit. And I felt like I had to go online. Because I was sort of, you know, just sitting there, taking a nap and well, now the whole point of me like streaming games in my own little way that I stream them, there's different purposes for a stream, you know? And one is to demonstrate a game that people are curious about, and they say, oh, there's a new Spider-Man Part 3 game. I heard it sucks. Let me look at the gameplay. And they look at the gameplay by looking at live streams, you know? Another option is, I really enjoy Spider-Man 3, the video game, and I want to be the best. So, let me look at a live stream because they're probably doing some meta system or something. In many games it's like that, especially in Diablo. A person's watching to see what to see a demonstration, not of the game, to see a demonstration of the best possible weird build that is currently standard or some variety. They want to see the thing. They want to see the Paragon, whatever, you know? That's the whole point of it. If you're watching a Call of Duty stream, you want to see countless headshots. You want to see the best in the world. Is what you want to see, sort of. Same thing in Fortnite. You want to see the whatever. Or the person has to be pretty darn funny. Or it's about doing stuff with the audience and doing what they want. And they become, in my opinion, just a soulless husk. A puppet dancing. And they're nothing. They become a vessel for the wants and needs of people that don't care about each other in the end. It's just a front for people to represent themselves. Sort of thing. Do the thing that I like. You like that thing that I told you about? Isn't it good, the thing that I said, because I'm smart? You know? That whole thing. And so I feel like it's really hard to compete with being the best, like scientifically the best, mathematically the best. You know what I mean? Thank you. Like mathematically the best. Oh yeah, how fast can you beat Minecraft in hardcore mode? I can do it in 21 minutes. You know? There's procedure. Like in the military, you have like standard operating procedure. Why the heck am I here? What the heck? I'm on autopilot. Why am I over at Varshan? What in the... Oh, God. So, military. Every piece of equipment has a big old fat book, a technical manual. It's not like an instruction guide, it's a technical manual. And it breaks down how you're supposed to use it, and how you're supposed to troubleshoot it, and how you're supposed to, and what you're supposed to do with it when it breaks, and everything, every possible thing, and how you inventory it, and whatever, you know, every possible thing you can imagine with a piece of equipment, to the point where a caveman can do it, because it has to be written for any possible person to pick up that piece of equipment and then use it in any weird situation, and even if a person's unfamiliar given wartime conditions, you know. So you're supposed to like look at something. So and most people have a job where they have like one job. You work in legal, good, and you work with these forms and that software, and you work in awards and you work with those awards. They're not inventing new words every 3 minutes, you know. And your logistics or something. They all have like their little jobs, and my job was a weird job where I didn't really have a job. It sucked. I mean, it's not like I didn't have a job. I had a job. It's just the most vaguest job in the world. It was a signal support system specialist, which is really vague. It's not fiber optic cable maintainer or network systems manager, you know, or radio operator or whatever, because those were actual jobs, you know. The guy that did the radio thing, my job was all of that. Or if you're the only person that works in that general field, your job was to figure it out and then do it, you know. And my mindset, I've talked about this in the past. My mindset going into this whole thing was to demonstrate how to figure something out by not looking stuff up, for the most part, to give a person confidence that they can do something and not be afraid of it, you know, to give a person motivation that they can master anything if you give enough time. And my goal is usually to master it, and I know, well, a network engineer of sorts, but that's a specific job too. My job was a network, so I was a 25 uniform, right, which is the thing. And I was a network engineer, and so I worked the software, accounts, troubleshooting computer problems, the hardware side, in the garrison environment, and then, you know, IP addresses, and then the email accounts and the government BlackBerry phones, and I worked in headquarters level with the colonels and majors and all that stuff, and I was like the sole guy in S6. That's what the garrison environment's like when you're not at war. It's just software, email accounts, troubleshooting software issues, and then once in a while some radio stuff. You know what I mean? Every so often you go to the field, and of course you have to maintain what you have and do maintenance and so forth in the vehicles, and so. But then in wartime, it's a mixture of everything, because you have radios everywhere, and quite often radios are sending data signals. So it's just a bunch of cables and radios and software and weird equipment and hubs and weird things in between, and encryption and weird protocol and authentication and user access and a bunch of weird little things here and there and little points that can go wrong, and you got to figure it out. Yeah, it's a jack of trades and it sucks. It's good, the whole thing about Master of None or whatever. But that's why I sort of play the games the way I do, in case you didn't notice. You know, I try to dabble in everything. But, so, when I'm streaming, I know, so I have two things in mind. And believe it or not, one, I know that I will eventually become a master. It's like a confidence thing. I'm like pretty confident. I'm like 87%, 89, 90, 93% confident that by the time I'm done with whatever this game is, I will become a master by my own personal standard, by the way. My own personal standard. And I'm also, I guess, three things. Two, I'm going to be really bad for a while. I'll be doing things I shouldn't be doing, and I'll be making many mistakes, and I'll figure things out way later down the line. I'll be happy I figured it out because I was doing it wrong for such a long time. But that's a good feeling, and I'm also aware it's a good feeling to be aware that you're doing something wrong and then to correct it, and now it's easier. If you're always doing it correct, then it feels slow, you know? If you're going around the block when you could have gone to the left and you're going to the right the whole time. You can go counterclockwise? What? It blows your mind you can go the opposite direction. Well, you learned a lot going the opposite direction. Now you know there's stuff around the block, of course. You learn a lot through mistakes. You know, failure is growth. And that's why that's the whole darn motto. Because I know there's lots of failure inherent. Especially if people already know the standard. And see, once I know the standard and I go back and make a new character, I streamline much of the process and I skip quite a few things because it's not as necessary. But I've already been exposed to it, so I already have like the lore and immersion and the suffering and the sacrifice, and I could appreciate it and so forth. And I know that many people aren't tolerant to this. I know it's really frustrating. I'm really aware of this. This is the point number 4, that people are might get frustrated seeing a person do the wrong thing, and a person wants to help. If a person's trying to help me, they are not being insulting. And I know that I am the weird one when I get mad at somebody for trying to help me. I am aware of this. And it's become a meme almost, to the point where I double down on it. Because I really want to make a point. I'm trying to make a point about that thing, you know? And quite often it's not really being angry. It turns into a big speech like what I'm doing right now about my entire mindset about why I'm streaming in general. And a person's taking it like I'm getting really offended by something. You know? But I do get angry if I've already given the speech to people and they still do it. But I know it's not out of a place of meanness. It's out of a place of trying to be helpful. They're trying to help me to say, you're doing it wrong and I'm going to help you. Fine then, stay weak. You think I'm going to be weak forever? I mean, maybe a long time. Maybe a long time. Now, I'm mentioning all this. I know it's late for you people. I'm sorry. Things had to be arranged. Okay, so go here with me. Yeah, hi ho hum. I'm sort of realigning my brain right now. Okay. And reassess what has to happen in my life. So, I know I'm capable of a lot. So, I'm sort of giving myself a self-therapy session right now, okay, everybody? And, I got these blocks, these walls. It's sort of like how I'm not playing Minecraft right now. I mean, after a couple days of not playing, it's sort of turned off. Or sort of like, after I don't play Fallout 76 for a little bit, I feel like I don't deserve to play it. You know what I mean? It's like or I feel like once I'm in something, I'm trapped in it. Like I'm trapped in Diablo. That's why I had to come back to Diablo. It's like a thing. I get set in these modes, perhaps, where I'm trying to process something, and I sort of finished Minecraft because I did beat the game a while back, and then I died a bunch of times, and every time I die, I'm always at the teetering edge, you know? And whenever I jokingly say, well, time to uninstall, I'm actually being kind of serious. That every moment after that point, it's over, because I did the thing that was being built up. It's all just fluff. It's like getting ready for a long voyage across the ocean, and you're stocking your ship. You're stocking your ship because you don't know what's out there, and then as you're scouting the coastline to get some more supplies, you find the other shore. Oh, it's right here. Oh, well, the boat was the 5 months of preparation. I guess we're here. I guess I'll just sail the boat and set up the building now and install the game. You know, that was the whole build-up. It's better if I don't find it. That's why I don't want a game to end, because it's over for me. Whenever I feel like there's not as much growth, so then I stop doing it. Now, I bring this up because I don't make clips. I don't make edited videos. I know how to make an edited video. I know how to make edited videos. I know that in theory it doesn't take that long to master the process as if it were a video game. To make really good and polished good videos. Okay? And everything. Now, I'm not monetized on YouTube because they're garbage. And I lost monetization a while ago. Because I posted some Homelander montage video of him using laser eyes. Ugh. Ugh. And because every single video I post gets flagged saying this can't be monetized because it has something copywritten in it. Like, all that Star Wars stuff was flagged on YouTube, but it wasn't flagged on Facebook. Weird. Remember how I was testing it out recently with the Star Wars stuff? It wasn't flagged. You used to play Warframe. So, how's the fishing in Fallout? Is the fishing okay? Do you catch other stuff besides fish? Do you catch junk? Is it a good junk farm? Yeah, Facebook didn't get any sort of Facebook copyright, but every single one of my... Look at me. It's terrible. Well, that makes me feel better. My apologies. It's terrible? Oh. Why? Why is it terrible? You only catch like 2 fish? There's no recipes? They only give you intestines. Sort of like that last zone. What was it? The, Blah Blah Valley? With the lost people? You know, the lightning ghouls? And they had these giant ostrich dinosaur raptor birds, but there's no recipe. The threshers. There's no thresher meat recipe. There's no new plants and no new recipes. Oh, you're move first? You see, that's my issue. I don't really want to play Fallout without Fallout first. I'll always feel like I'm being held back. And I am in denial about the whole thing. It is really an awful, see, an awful pay-to-win system. You can call it pay-to-win, but not really, because you're not making individual purchases to help yourself out. It's a subscription, but that's just a problem. Because it's a subscription, I don't see it like you're paying to, but you are. You're paying a lot. It's more than Netflix. You know what I mean? Every month for a dramatic advantage. And it is a dramatic advantage. Okay? Yes. The survival tent. Like what Christopher Madge says. I mean, without the survival tent alone, and infinite junk storage, okay, with either one of those things removed, your gameplay completely changes. Because you'd always have to worry about, well, how do I make it home now? You'd have to, like, wander on the road toward the nearest train station. You know? On foot, because you're over encumbered and you can't fast travel. They would have to add more vendors or something, or I don't know. And then if you don't have Fallout First and you don't have the junk box, then you're not really looting. Maybe you're being super selective. And I did say it's actually more immersive if you don't have Fallout First for those reasons, because now you have to walk down the road with full pockets, you know? And you have to worry about what you're... So you can say, I'm only looking for aluminum. Dear God, give me aluminum and only aluminum. Stop it. You know, where are the springs? Clipboards only. You're being very selective with the loot. And then for all the extra stuff, you have a procedure of bulking it. So you have to bulk it, and then you have to constantly work with other players, you know? Other players to buy and trade, and I think the game is sort of relying on the fact that it's a cross environment with people that do have Fallout First with those that don't, and people that do are absolutely rich in resources compared to people that don't have Fallout First, so they're probably going to be selling it or giving it away, you know? Yeah. I mean, for all this stuff that you don't use all the time, you should be absolutely rich. So the good thing about Fallout First is that whenever you cancel Fallout First, you still have access to the stuff that you have in your mega mixed Scrooge stockpile, your swimming pool full of gold, you know? It's still there, you just can't add anything to it. So you can survive for quite some time. Oh, 1700 snow. Yeah. So, this is a long way around saying that I have to make more content now. Of some variety. And I sort of stopped editing videos.
Greetings. How shall I guide my hammer?
Well, see, before I was live streaming, I would just record myself and then make a big old clip montage with whatever going on, you know? And then I figured that if I just live stream forever, it'll make up for it. Just the sheer amount of time and exposure to people over time. It's just inevitable. I mean, come on, look. There's like a person today, a person tomorrow. You times that by a couple years, and surely you'll have thousands of people. Surely. But there's issues here. There's issues, and I understand the issues. I understand it's a complicated thing. You know, there's many issues here. Dying Light 2 is or Dying Light 2. Have I played part 2? I played part 1. That's like the parkour. No, I think I played I played part 2, I think. I think I streamed it. That's the parkour zombie game. So the issue, as I was saying, is the algorithm is honest. Too honest. I could write a whole book about this, okay? It's too honest. A brand new person gets a fair shake. Right? But let's just imagine a person's really bad and tends to shoo people away. Then the algorithm's not going to reward you. It's keeping track of things. Okay. Overall number of people that watch, how often they come back, the overall vibe of what they say, the frequency, and so forth. So it's the self-fulfilling prophecy of Zoom. It'll only get worse. That's step one. But I think, this service will send you out there and poke and prod, but it's not going to, make it actively worse. It's trying to find people that might fit the thing, and so forth, and people that like the actual game that you're streaming. You know what I mean? Now, I know that people that watch me super long term, I think you understand my vibe by now. Right? I think you understand what I'm all about.
Well, hello, shining. Not a bastardly scope. Hello, not a bad pull, that.
I am too legit to a fault, where it hurts myself, where I will accept the pain and suffering, and it's about the longer term picture, and I pay no mind to the immediate thing, and I resent anti-gamers. I mean, and you know, and that's my personality. And then if you want to see that, you come on and stop by and see how well I'm sucking at some other game. But then if you come back 3 months later, I'll be the most amazing person you've ever seen in it. For my own good reasons. Seriously. If you stop in during a stream and say, what's he playing now? I bet you he's going to suck at it. And it's going to be maybe messy. But you'll see signs of greatness. It's like, that's interesting. Oh, I kind of like how he moves right there, but he's getting hung up on the wall right there. Man, he's kind of clumsy. He keeps hitting that rock. But I like how he jumps over that curb all the time. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Later on, it's going to be amazing. If you can make it that long. And then, the consequence is, if a person comes in at the wrong time, and I'm already really good, it's negative. It's negative because, the vibe from what I'm getting is like, why are you playing this if it's so easy? Or isn't there a harder mode? Why aren't you playing the one life only mode where you die instantly and you lose all your progress? You're clearly very good. Have you tried playing other people? Play me right now. Let me join your multiplayer session and fight me in the PvP game. Because I'm using the exploitive garbage that I got for free. Hey, say, you're pretty good at this here game. You want to fight me?
I forge more than horse
Is what happens.
nails,
It's like a negative thing. And I think it's kind of funny. Especially if you know that's going to be happening. And you see it happening. Because you know that now that you know, I'm waiting for that. If I ever get really good at something, it's negative, and you get like insults, sort of. You can't win with it. It's, why aren't you doing the very hardest level pit at the very fastest time? In fact, my best friend can do it in 45 seconds. You're doing it in 1 minute and 15. Have you tried fluttering your fingers like this a bit faster? What kind of mouse pad do you have? Well, I have the X9 5000 series, and how good is your chair behind your back there? How good are your headphones? Like, some other angle that it then deviates from.
At least I can put my skills to
That's just how certain people are. Okay. You can help those people, I guess, but they have to have an awakening, and they have to become a new person, you know? I was saying earlier that many things have happened through my life, and trauma and so forth and whatever, and I've had to sort of like restart mentally, and this is one of those big moments, you know? That's why I'm doing this weird breakdown of my mind here.
Fools! This stops nothing.
Also, on social media, or on X, I'm quite vocal with my political opinions. What is politics anyways, okay? That's the question. One day, you grow up and you realize politics are really interesting because it's not really politics, you see, it's worldview. Once you translate politics into worldview, which covers everything, you know what I mean? Then things suddenly become quite interesting. Because it's like icky word, like, voting and governors and the state senate congressional committee bipartisan. What are we talking about? C-SPAN. No, boring. But then you realize that C-SPAN's pretty interesting. Because, you know, if the context is, you know someone's lying, and now this person's going to find out why they're lying, it turns into like an interesting law drama of some interrogation where they're trying to catch somebody in a lie. And it's rather, and some of them are actually hamming it up for social media. Hey there, Mary. I've had my emotional instability, crying and turning off camera moments at the beginning of the stream, and now that part of me is locked away deep inside a cellar in a old trunk made of leather. He's in a box now, and he's crying. I see him in there. He has his mouth with duct tape, struggling. He's not getting out. Yes, John. I see you. Thank you. And it's sort of weird for me to be playing Diablo, you know? So I'm not really playing it right now. I'm just sort of passively doing it. I might do Grounded or something. It would be nice to make some little fantasy world. I don't really feel like doing Minecraft again. If I was going to do it, I'll do it from scratch. I don't want to do a hardcore mode because that'd be just terrible. Because then death would matter. No Man's Sky? Yeah, I can do No Man's Sky. I could do No Man's Sky. I keep forgetting about it, actually. Thank you, Mary. That's a good idea. There's also VR support for it, and it's had a bunch of updates since last time I played. I haven't played since before that last base combat update where they had the big battle cruisers. So yeah, I could do that. Now, I like this game a little bit because it's sort of relaxing, even though we're killing stuff. Killing bad stuff. And they're dying easily. It's like ASMR. It's like I'm cleaning barnacles off of a ship. You know? Barnacles that bite back and that are poisonous from time to time. And I enjoy making a character. There's a certain purity
Your insolence is at an end.
to making a character, and then like looking at all the stuff and getting stronger and everything. And I enjoy the music in town. You know, it's relaxing when I'm going through my character and getting stronger and looking at numbers, and it's vaguely mathematical. There's lots of action.
The wilderness is my home, but this will do.
Some games don't have as much action of actually doing stuff with your abilities. You know, Fallout 76 has a lot of action, quite a bit. Once you're strong, you can really do quite a bit. Lots of areas to farm enemies at, you know, and daily ops and public events and whatever. I mean, Minecraft kinda, but not really. And back when I first saw Minecraft, I was impressed that it had any combat at all. Oh, look, there's a bow and a sword. You can kind of wallop them a little bit. Out of context, it looks really bad, but in context, pretty immersive because it's all bad.
Some steel you need.
You know? And if that little weird zombie can just go and kind of hit me when I'm next to it, even though I don't see it happening, it's pretty immersive. But it's just a couple zombies. And even then, you know, killing them with the bow and whatever. 7 Days to Die. It's called 7 Days to Die. And I was thinking about streaming it, but it's called 7 Days to Die. And it has die in the title. I don't want to do that. And No Man's Sky is a pretty passive game. It's not violent for the most part. And it's beautiful. And Grounded is also, it's nice and peaceful. It's scary, but it's bugs. And the bugs are kind of cute. But it's also grounded, you know. You're gonna have every 30th person asking me why am I playing Grounded. then I'll have to convince them. Which is part of my stream. Why are you playing this game? Ugh. Didn't know, you see. In reality, I like any survival game. Valheim, you know. Pal World. Power World's supposed to have some summer update dealing with Terraria. But whatever. The game's also kind of weird. I'm sort of anti-knockoff to begin with. Just part of my stance in general. I don't like the fake thing that is trying to be like the real thing. You know, I don't like mods. I don't like fan-made content. Because I feel like it's immersion breaking. So, to catch you up to speed here on Diablo, I've reached a point where leveling up is really slow. I'm Paragon 250 plus, and leveling up is really slow. And there's only certain ways to get stronger here. One is a completely different build. Have you tried using a different build? And of course, better items, but whatever. My items are getting better and better and harder to replace. So I'm looking for an item with 2 greater affix lines and some other line after that. And I could reroll that line to make it perfect, you know? So I'm trying to go for over time. That's only, you know, so much strength. And then there's some power that comes in masterworking your gear and selecting certain affix lines to make more powerful. And that requires just a massive quantity of obdusite, which you get by doing a horde, you know, the Infernal Horde, or from doing Nightmare Dungeons at a higher torment level, or by doing the Undercity with the Tribute of Refinement. You get the Tribute of Refinement by doing the Infernal Horde. And in that process, you end up getting a bunch of levels, see, to flesh out your Paragon. Or selecting a different combination of skills and abilities, like I mentioned, a whole different build. And your Paragon boards in general. And your glyphs. The rare nodes and whatever that you have activated. Get stronger.
Your efforts are for naught, mortals.
And leveling up
Is mine,
your glyphs up to
I shape it as I wish.
99 or 100 or whatever it is. But that requires diving into the pit over and over again at a higher level. Hopefully not dying. Hopefully contributing a little bit, but doing quite a bit of mooching. Lots of mooching to get those glyphs higher. You know? It could be very boring. So you do it ever so often and get some target by saying, okay, my glyphs are currently 58. I want all my glyphs to 60.
and then you do it until they're all 60, and then you move on. Okay? And then, of course, there is getting mythic items. Pretty rare. But
Fools! This stops nothing. You solve nothing.
a good thing to do at a certain point whenever you get to like this point when it gets really slow with leveling. Because everything I mentioned gives you levels in the process. Like you're getting levels while you're doing the Nightmare Dungeon and the Undercity and the Horde and the Pit, so forth and so on. So you're multitasking. But then all of a sudden you're not getting levels and it's really slow. So, and it could be kind of boring working with the same character not getting any stronger. So if time feels like it's getting slower, but if you make a new character, it's not that hard to level up to 60, especially if you prep with one character before the other. By, you know, like farming for gems, you know, farming for obols by doing events and sellers as much as possible, and farming for obdusite so that you're already ready to masterwork your gear, and getting the Tree of Whispers caches and not opening them. So the plan is to do just a bunch of hardcore Tree of Whispers missions as fast as possible to fill up part of a tab in your stash box with a bunch of unopened Tree of Whispers boxes to give to a new character, to have them open up. And then they get a bunch of gear and levels. And if you do it right, you can get to level 60 pretty quickly. And then once you hit level 60, suddenly, in my case, I'd be level 255 in a heartbeat. And I'd be super powerful. And all of a sudden, a brand new character can farm Torment 2 or something after just some quick gear working. The problem is, a brand new character might have the Paragon points spread around, but they it's not that hard to get a collection of quick gear, by the way. It's harder to get better gear, but it's not that hard to get initial gear. The problem is that your glyphs are non-existent. You don't even have all the glyphs at first. And there's a lot of power in your glyphs, so you have to unlock and level up your glyphs to at least 15 and then 25, 45. For the radius increase, there's a lot of power stuck in there, so basically what I'm trying to say is you have a reason to play with a new character where you're sort of refining your build and grinding through the pit with the purpose of leveling up your glyphs, and you're seeing yourself get stronger in the process, and then you're actually leveling up Paragon in the process, and time feels like it's going by a lot faster by working with a new character.
Your insolence is at an end.
Okay. Are you still here, Lori? Yes, Grounded is awesome. I like the overall graphics. I like how the leaves are, or sorry, the grass blades are translucent a little bit, and the sound design. The air feels a bit thicker. Really feels like a different world. I mean, I would love if they had some sort of amazing erosion update. Like where if it rained. You'd have to have leaves slowly turn into soil with fungus taking over. That'd be kind of weird. You have like a leaf layer that slowly start. If you don't mess with these leaves for a while, it'll turn to dirt. But who knows how long that'll take? I don't know. But no. I was about to look at the deep dive for the Grounded 2 thing, and then I stopped. Sometimes I don't look at those things. I feel like if it's too good, I'll want it now. And then if I look at it, I could make it bad. You know? I can make it bad by looking at it. And almost, it's like a Schrodinger's cat thing. If I don't look at it, it's up in the air and it could be good or bad. But if I look at it, now I know a ballpark. And now I start speculating. And corrupting. But, I clicked at, I opened it up and I clicked at one point in the video and they're talking about the combat. It's like, you want to really feel tanky, and it showed like someone using some blades and like blocking and backing up, and so it seems like they've really improved combat and that you can really go with a certain role for combat now. But I don't know how or why. I looked at it for like 7 seconds and they're talking about combat. But No Man's Sky is really good. Sometimes No Man's Sky can feel desolate and almost scary because you're so alone. But that's sort of the whole point of it. To keep your suit charged with oxygen and with sulfur for the hazmat, and then, or whatever, carbon for your tool. You have to constantly get carbon and oxygen and sulfur, and there's ways to find it across the map. You're looking, but there's ways to make your tool and so forth last longer. But that's the main concern. You're trying to find ways to get fuel for your ship and then make bases and everything. But the material is wonderful. You know, like the actual materials that you're working with, and you can shape the terrain with tools. You can't dig down to the bedrock like it's Minecraft, but you can fly around a planet into space and back down to the planet, into deep space, back and forth. You know, the loading screen only comes when you do like the space slippage, like the warp speed thing. But beyond that, you're just flying around. There's a planet, and you fly right on in, and then boom. And then a bunch of it is like the reason I'm just trying to say that the reason why I don't play it is like, but there's been a lot of updates. It kind of has like a dead, quiet, sad, lonely feeling to it, and I think that is the vibe. Perhaps. To establish some vibe, picture this. Picture you awaken with some cryptic information about iteration starting. Iteration sequence, blah blah blah, or whatever the heck it is, you know. And like your ship is messed up and you have to survive, and your ship is telling you, need recharge, blah 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 blah, need recharge, blah blah. And now like you're dying, you have to go find the stuff, and then you find your way to a space station, and there's a bunch of aliens there, and nobody speaks English, and when you're speaking to them, they all go with these weird canned animations, you know, and their language is in subtitles, but it's a different language. You know? And then much of what you're doing on these planets is looking for words for their language. You found the Gek word for hope. And now you'll have hope, interloper. You now have the word for interloper. Okay. I'm an interloper. Gotcha. These guys are really concerned about interlopers for some reason. You're trying to find out what do they want, and they mark something on a map, you know, and then you go there and then you talk to the guy, and then there's like robots, and they don't like you digging, and they'll attack you, like a drone thing. There's no like intelligent alien species that are trying to kill you, like it's a video game. You know? You have sentinels that appear and then start to come in waves. They get progressively worse. Like they're cops, like it's GTA. Because you mined too much in one area or something. And there's a plot of trying to figure out who you are and what the heck is happening. And the gist is that it's happened before. You've already done this. You're just a consciousness in a body, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and this is a whole recycled universe. And your goal is to get to the center of the universe, to a black hole or something. And then I guess it restarts. But there's been a bunch of updates. And they've added a bunch of multiplayer stuff. Where now there's like a weird quantum hub with other people that you can see. And you go to their base, and the base building's pretty nice, like glass and everything, and lots of really cool like material processing units, and base construction is really nice, you know. And the graphics are great, and harvesting resources is great. You can like mow down the alien flora, and there are a bunch of alien creatures, and much of it is like a cataloging game. You take pictures of the minerals and the flora and the fauna, like it's Pokemon Snap. And the cool thing is that if you're the first person to that part of reality, you get to name everything. And it really is first come, first serve. And the way it works is that there's so many stars and so many star systems that the odds of you accidentally running into somebody is very low. But the longer you play, the more apt you are to find somebody, because you end up finding like a weird portal thing. You'll find a big obelisk, and that is clearly like a hub that is getting players closer to each other within the same system, you know. And then you have that weird quantum thing, and then you know once you enter somebody else's system and say, I'm gonna go on the other planet, you know, now you have somebody else. When before you're the only person in this entire quadrant of space. All these star systems were all yours with no other humans ever around. You let somebody else in the back door, and now they built a base and a portal, and now now they're infecting planets with their essence, naming things. You know, it's like a naming things, a language game where you're discovering words. Very passive in that regard, you know. And you're always worried about like your suit. I actually feel like this game has more hope in it than No Man's Sky. If that makes sense. Like there's more life, and there's more life essence and actual joy in Diablo versus No Man's Sky. Why? Because there's lots of courageous battles, and we are vanquishing the demonic forces, and we are basically gods here, Nephilim, you know, and we're saving humanity, and there's other players, and they're real people, you know, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And Minecraft was a very lonely thing. especially in the Nether. Being alone in the Nether and you don't know, it's just a lonely, miserable thing sometimes. If you're trying to get your body, you can't get to it, and it's like, it's dark, you're out of torches, and things are winding down, and it's just, that sort of thing happens all the time, unless you're exquisitely prepared all the time. In Minecraft, it's just part of it. Expect to be sort of miserable. In a way. You know? A little bit. In one way or another. Unless you're playing with people, then it turns into like a carnival of... It's a bit juvenile looking, you know? It's okay if I don't see people, but the second I see other people in the Minecraft world, it feels like I'm playing Roblox. And there might be people that play Roblox out there, but I feel like Roblox is less mature than Minecraft. But then I know that some people have the same opinion about Minecraft as Roblox. I view Roblox as like the Duplo version of Legos. Like the Duplo Legos, you know? With the weird shapes. The Duplo. The other brand. There's always that, and like, you know, the janky character animations and all, it becomes more obvious when you start to see a person doing it in third person. It's goofy if I'm like standing there and I make the camera third person, and like the way that you move, it's nice and smooth within the blocky environment, so that's okay. And you're moving really quickly and jumping around and whatever, but the core of it is very basic, and it's very lonely, like I mentioned. Even 7 Days to Die is a lonely thing. Because, I mean, I really do enjoy survival games. But all of them are very lonely, sad things, especially with how I like to do it. I like to do it in a lonely fashion because... And maybe if I wasn't live streaming. I just got a major issue, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, this mental block where I just can't do it. I can't do a survival game that involves building things if other people are building things. Within the same area where you can't tell who built what, where it's like some sort of community project, because then it's like presenting a group project where perhaps you're doing all the work, perhaps. Well, hey there, Chris. I would say it's like doing a group project where you have the option of fast tracking or something. Well, I would say it's like a college group project where there's extra credit, which is really half of the grade, you know? And the test is really to see, will these people do the extra credit, or they take the easy way out by just doing the project? The extra credit would be, now call the people and set up the plan and act like it's real for a second and get the real paperwork done. Your job is, as a group, design a way to... create a new ballpark within a city. So find out what it takes to make a brand new ballpark and get the land and whatever and how much it costs to run. Now really do it, you know. Some extra step that I would maybe want to do, and then I'd maybe want to add some extra twist on it to make it like my own version of a ball, where it's not really a ballpark, you see, it's actually a VR gamer lounge ballpark thing where the players can immersively choose to be the person on the outfield with the robots, or some weird thing. And a person might say, that's not part of the task. What are you doing extra stuff for? Just stay on target and do the darn thing. You know? If I was doing a survival game with other people, it would all be, I'm pretty sure, about getting this thing done so we can get out there across the ocean and find that new land. You know? Good, so we need a harbor. Alright, let's get that harbor done. Right now. Within the next half an hour. you know, as a group, and now it's done.
Your efforts are for
You know,
naught.
and that is the harbor. Now, from that point forward, you need permission from everybody else to make any improvement.
Shape it as I
Once you make some group project, you have to have permission to make any changes. But if it's by yourself, you can make changes at any given time and say, you know what, this bridge isn't wide enough. Let's widen the entire river. Otherwise, if everybody was doing their own thing, trying to be a leader with different plans, everything would be in some weird state of in-between construction, which it normally is if I'm alone. You know? Let's make a bar, everybody, and then the bar is done in half an hour. Or an hour, and then you say, we made the bar, yay, let's have a fun time. But you got the Gooboberti shirt and it's soft?
fools. This stops nothing. You solve nothing.
I have one, but it's teal, so I can't wear it on the stream.
Will be tested now.
So when I was playing Minecraft, I was looking up information. I don't have any mythics now. This is Torment 2, by the way. I'm on Torment 2 for a reason. Oh, you got the blue one? Okay, so I was saying that I was looking up information when I was playing Minecraft. But I was doing it using AI, which is really just a summary of all available information. You know? So it's not like one dude's opinion. It's all opinions wrapped up together in a format that is digestible, presented to me. You know? And I was asking very pointed questions. Very deliberate questions. But it's in the ballpark of cheating. And an older me or a younger me wouldn't have done that. But I felt like I had to ask questions only because there had been so many updates and the game isn't clear at all on how the mechanics work. And they're sort of revealed whenever the update comes in individual patch notes as they are revealed. They'll say there's now a new melon vendor. If you have too many melons, there's a melon vendor. But it only appears every second Tuesday when the moon's out. So keep a lookout for the melon vendor, you know. That's what these updates do. They'll tell you there and they never tell you ever again. Yeah, no, John, I have one mythic, but I'm not using it. I got the Shattered Vow. And I have one spark. I have the Shattered Vow, but it's not for this build. And I'm working with a... I'm working with a druid now. I know if I type in like what is the best combination of blah 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 for blah blah blah, I can just look up a build and then copy the build, and I guess there's a certain joy in that, you know. It's just a horrible thing here, and it's just unfortunate the way it works. Step 1 in this lesson called life. Step 1 here. is that this is a multiplayer game. And people are talking about it and their own experiences and what works for them. Okay, you can't avoid that. We have the internet. People talk about it. You hear what they say. So, and then you have friends, and they talk about it. So, it's inevitable that you end up, and you see people in the game doing things. So you end up knowing what works just through direct observation. Oh, look, that works. Oh, okay. I'm seeing rogues do this thing. I don't know what it is. It's a thing. I don't play with rogues all that much, but they're doing a thing. They jump in, do this shadow damage thing, and it creates a field. All the rogues I've been saying have been doing it, and they're all kicking butt. And quite a few people are rogues these days. That's probably some sort of meta that's working out this season. Okay? And that's just an example.
Let's go.
I really feel like Diablo is a puzzle game where you're supposed to figure out how to get stronger based upon what you have. And it is. Until you get what you want. You know? Let's just imagine a person says, I want to be this specific build from maxrolls.gg.org website. This specific build, and I will do it. No deviations. That requires specific items, by the way, and really good versions of those items to make it shine. And time between A and B, where you don't have, you don't have the glyphs and so forth and so on. You're not at the right level, so you are a weak version of that build. And maybe that build only works if you have all those points. Some builds don't work unless you have the correct cooldown or something to make it all work out. You know? But the most important thing here is the gear. You might not have the gear. Now, is it hard to get the gear? No, not if you're buying it. Many people just trade for it. But how do you get the gold? You sell things, maybe? I don't know. So I guess you work the game with some build, and you make a lot of money, and then you buy the items from your shopping list, and then you're done? Let's just imagine you weren't doing that, and you weren't trading. Imagine a player wasn't trading or buying items, and they still wanted to duplicate a build. Well, they still have to get to that point, and they know that they don't have everything that they need. And through their own experimentation, as they try to build up to the build with what they have, they realize it doesn't quite work yet, not until they get 2 more items and 1 more flim-flam. Once they dig toward that legendary node, then it'll be good. Up until then, I gotta do something else. So in that window, that is where the experimentation comes, perhaps, where you get to look at what you have and saying, based upon my available aspects and whatever I have, what will be good. Now, some people go so far as to look up a leveling build. You know?
What is this?
So have like a leveling build and then an endgame build. Leveling build, maybe because the items are easier to acquire, which is why it's called that. I was trying to visualize playing No Man's Sky just now. You know what I visualized? Myself running through the middle of a big battle cruiser going clank, 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 clank. You know? Alone. In the dead of space. That's what I visualized. Checking on my crops or something. My atomic processing. There's like some atomic nuclear fission stuff that you can do on your ship. I'll spend a long time whenever things are established with my different materials from different planets. You know, because you have to be across the systems. Speaking of interesting games, Starfield was nice. Starfield doesn't really feel dead. Right? Starfield doesn't really feel dead for me. Because there's people there. I mean, No Man's Sky is pretty good. There's just that... I think it's just my mood right now, which is why I'm viewing it that way, because if I was thinking about Valheim, Valheim also has that sadness. Just imagine the woods, you know, and the darkness, and you're there, and... Grounded doesn't really have that sadness to it. There is almost a hope. The basic vibe is hope. This is or a mysterious new world full of opportunity and hope. You know, this is weird. The world is weird and weird. Welcome to being small. This is a weird land and you're smaller now. Ooh. You know? Enchanted land of being small. The general vibe of Fallout 76 is also hope. You know? The overall musical soundtrack, if you think about it. We're gonna make it through this thing. You know? When I was contemplating whether or not I should be live streaming, I was thinking about there's many occupations that involve talking to people.
Will be tested.
Okay? And showing your face to people and presenting information. There's many jobs. Even being a plumber. You know? Even being a plumber, you have to go into someone's house and interact with people. Everybody. For the most part, if you have coworkers, it's a bit different with coworkers. But unless you're in some sort of professional environment where that is the job, to work with other people and then do a really good job doing that, and depending on how good of a job you do working with other people, you get a promotion. You know? But if you're being distant and not talking to people and like quiet and teary-eyed, you know, it's like, well, it's been 4 months, Sam, and if you're at McDonald's, it doesn't matter if you're being quiet all that much, unless you work at the window or at the teller, right? And I know that Diablo here kind of hard to watch. Things are so small, you know? And lots of stuff happening. If you know what to look at, you know what to look at. Most part. Can't tell what's happening. So, talk about. You all are still here for a little bit longer. Let's talk about what I'll be streaming next. Because I don't know about this right now. For obvious reasons. Okay? So, on the plate, Fallout 76, Grounded, No Man's Sky, 7 Days to Die, Minecraft, there's that game, here. Let's just...
Every step, every stumble is part of the game. It's all about the climb, no need to feel ashamed. Learn to fail, it's the only way to grow. Keep pushing forward, let your determination show. Gotta train, gotta practice, gotta hone your skills. You can't expect to win without putting in the trails. Success is stagnant, it's the failures that will teach. Embrace the journey, reach the goals out of reach. Rise and grind, never settle for less. Every stumble is a lesson in progress. Embrace the journey, seize the moment time. Failure is growth, success is stagnation, alright. You know I said, failure is growth, success is stagnation, alright. You know I said, failure is growth, success is stagnation. Failure is growth and success is stagnation. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are now discussing future games, okay? So I've recently reinstalled World War Z, but I don't know if that's very appropriate. Civilization got some new update. I just want something kind of violent, but Anybody ever beat Adamfall? Yeah, I streamed Days Gone for a bit. I never beat it though. Anybody ever beat Adamfall? I stopped Marvel Rivals because it stopped being immersive for me. I never beat Baldur's Gate. You know? I never beat Baldur's Gate. I got to a point where I felt like, well, this is over. I finally got to the Crash, whatever it was. Have I played Robin Hood? No. No. I got to the... Adamfall. It came out. Christopher Madge got it for me. I played it for like about an hour and then returned it. I felt like it was too much of a knockoff Fallout game. Okay? There's a nuclear fallout situation around this old British town, as opposed to being Americana in the it's old British town as opposed to old American town. Ugh. And then I saw an electric ghoul. I was like, okay, whatever. They got the Lost here, and some very rudimentary looting. Go grab the rag and the alcohol to make the first aid kit. You know. Oh, the Jurassic Park game? Oh, Jurassic Park Evolution. Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice game. Ooh. And it looks the same. How is it any different? Stupid. How is it any different? Generations of dinosaurs. How is it any different? Epic glowed. I haven't even seen the last few of these things. I really enjoyed streaming Jurassic World Evolution 2. You know? It was nice. Making a dinosaur park. You know? It's nice. It was nice. This is a good game I recommend to anybody. By the way, The Ascent is a pretty good game. You know, it's like Diablo but cyberpunk. I'm not gonna stream it, but it's a great game, full of aesthetics, lots of little aliens and so forth, and you know, it was a good game. It was a good game. Atomic Heart, remember that game? Remember that game? This was the Russian Fallout. The Russian Fallout game. Remember that one? Y'all don't know about Audio Shield. Y'all don't know about these VR games. They are the bee's knees. I'm telling you. I was gonna be primarily a VR channel. I could still do that. Really sad. So sad. I don't know if I get in trouble for doing this. Yeah. The problem is getting the format down correct, you know, to make it look good. I'm soaring high up in the sky.
Across the map, I'm on the fly. Do it funky, don't you know I'm in my ship built with Lego.
This was such a good video.
Hotel London. Intercept. Jim Brodigan.
This
I
was
sense that these people know nothing.
Character covers his tracks, but he didn't count on someone like me following his trail. He has a scheduled massage every Monday, so that is your cover to get in. Garrett is in position on the roof for support and extraction. Now, let's see what you can get out of Jimmy.
This was such a good one. But this is when I had my old computer. My video card was a bit better. And, all that.
Oh,
This is back when I had the heart rate monitor.
hi, I'm looking for Jim Brodigan.
Jim Brodigan. I took off my heart rate monitor because my...
Never heard of Jim Brodigan? Maybe, what about Jim Brodigan? No? Cool. Well, Franz is sick today. I am Franz's replacement. I am here to massage Jim Brodigan.
Really?
Yes.
No one informed me.
Well, call your people.
Hold on. I'll need to call the agency to confirm.
No problem.
One moment, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I already saw that coming, lady.
No problem.
Patch in. Here we go.
Yep.
Thank you for calling Big Massage. This is Melissa. How can I help you?
Hello. This is Emily from the Holbrook.
Hello, Emily. How are you today?
Fine, thanks.
You don't know how cool VR is, I'm
Learning
telling you.
Sent someone else other than Franz for my client today. I wasn't informed of the change.
Yeah, fast forward.
Apologies. Yes, Franz is ill at the moment. It slipped my mind.
It's so good.
Jim, get off your phone right now.
Hold on. Can I help you with something?
I'm the new
Huh?
masseuse.
Where's Franz?
Watch your mouth.
Hmm?
I'm the new massage
Well-
man.
Tables in there, innit?
Isn't it?
Twat.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
Oh boy.
What is this? Start massage. Who made this game?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Hold on. What you saying?
Here's the plan. Start massaging him for long enough so that I can try to trace the call. Let's see who's on the other end of the line.
What's that?
You gotta target these areas, dude. You gotta go.
That tosser,
oh,
that
yeah.
yank wank on your side of the pond, I cannot speak for. Me,
Okay, yep.
I'm all in.
You gotta get the
Take the
target zones.
You savvy? Huh?
1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that good? That good for you? This is the tripalis muscle. Don't mind me. Boom, boom, boom,
Sorry.
boom, boom, boom,
Keep going.
boom, boom,
This trace is
boom,
taking
boom,
longer than I thought.
boom, boom,
The
boom,
call's
boom.
encrypted.
That good?
Being rerouted.
Good.
It's like something I
1
would
second,
do.
1 second. Boom, 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 boom,
Busy with me.
boom, boom.
I'm up there.
Such a stupid
good?
situation.
Heavy.
Good, buddy.
Nothing
Boom.
to do with that
Boom.
palaver.
Boom.
The back massage minigame.
Alright.
Boom, boom,
Ready for the
boom,
call?
boom, boom, boom. That good for you? Huh? Boom,
Damn
boom,
it.
boom, boom, boom.
Not enough time. I could only narrow down the call to somewhere in New York. That's the best I got right now. You know, I was hoping we wouldn't have to resort to this, but you'll have to interrogate Jimmy. We need to know where he's hiding the device segment, and then retrieve it. Use the Womack technique to easily put him to sleep
Puck!
until you're ready to wake him up again.
What in the world is... Deep.
massage. You even know what you're
Dish,
doing.
dish, dish. Piss.
Hilarious. Is that now or later? I don't know.
You look secured.
Uh-oh.
Wake him up.
Uh-oh. The torture
Oi.
part. This is horrible, people.
Oi,
Heads up, this is horrible.
wake up. Hey,
You know who I am?
I know who you are.
Come in here, try and mug me off.
I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. Who are you talking to on the phone? Tell me who you're talking to on the phone. I'll break your toes. I'll break your toes, pal. I'll break your toes right off.
Piss off.
Oh, you want your
Dig on
toes?
me, you
Huh?
know I ain't
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? I'll break your toes right off! Where is the device segment? Huh, huh, huh. Hish, 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 hish. Who you working for?
dead, Billy. Dead.
I'm tearing off your ears. Gee!
Seems like he needs some persuading.
Cock! 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 Who you working for? Who you working for?
My old dear, it's harder than that.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? How about we start pulling some teeth?
The first wave of VR games
How
were,
about I gouge out your eyeball? You got two of them, huh?
the first
Who
wave
you
of
working
VR
for,
games
buddy?
were pretty extreme before they toned it down a bit.
This your plan, Nancy?
Yes. Real bloody.
Job on.
Right in front of the window, buddy. Who are you talking to?
You got no bloody clue, have you?
Oh, bloody. That's the right word. You're losing your fingertips, buddy. I'm gonna flay your skin right off. You got no chance.
Let me think. I ate it somewhere special. Up your ass.
Rough him up some more. That should change his tune.
Where is the segment? Who you working for? Who did it? Huh?
I'm interrogating him. I'm a spy.
All day. I see how it is. I gotta break out the tools. You got a pen right there. Huh?
Yeah. You keep trying, mate. Gonna get
What
you
kind of
out.
game is this, really?
Going nowhere. He'll
Seriously.
pass out before you
Next
look
level.
around and see if there's anything you
I'm cracking up because
Okay.
in the thing because I can't believe that they're
Alright.
having me do this. It keeps on
Okay.
going with the massage and everything, and the keep on torturing him. He has to have the
Oh,
answers.
look at this. You thirsty? You thirsty? Are you thirsty, huh, pal?
still not going to talk.
Huh?
Try something else.
Try something else.
Huh.
Use the knife.
Oh, you want more? You want more? Huh? Oh, yeah. Want some more of this? Ka!
Okay. Find something else?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Your toes. I gotta find some torture tools.
Use the plunger on him. This game is sick.
Oh, look at this. Looky here. Looky here.
Which end?
Ah!
Doesn't seem to affect this guy. You need to find a way to raise the stakes.
This guy's
Who you working
resilient.
for? Okay. All right. All right. You want to talk? That's nice. That's nice. Keep breathing. Yeah. Keep trying. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay. Ah! It's about 50 feet, 70 feet. What do you think, huh? What do you think, buddy, huh?
Oh my god.
What do you think, huh? You don't
Oh my
want to
God.
talk? You don't want to talk? You don't want to talk?
What are you doing? You meant...
Huh? You don't want to talk, huh? Who you working for? Who you working for? Come on, baby, come on. Yeah. Tell me, where are you keeping the device? Where is it?
Right. You see me room?
Where?
Combination
Huh?
1817.
1817? Okay. Alright. Goodbye.
Oh shit!
Goodbye. Aww.
Jesus, we were just supposed to scare the guy. This is nuts.
You failed.
Abort mission. Abort.
What? I wasn't supposed to kill him? Come on, the stupid game. What's happening? Who made this game?
Action.
Oh no. Can't see you.
Pretty awesome, actually. This whole combat sequence is awesome.
Go to the elevator.
Hold on. Let's fast forward.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
Head to
Sweet.
405.
Oh my god.
Swing down and extract Brotigan while you continue the op. I'll be ready for evac by the time you get up here.
Look at that scope. Okay, if you could appreciate the scope for a second. Okay, so, alright, got this hologram coming out, this little semi-transparent grid lines. It's 3D for me, okay? And this little TV screen coming out like a 3D effect right here, creating a depth chamber. Alright, let's go.
Get him.
Inform up. Yeah. Knock, knock. Knock. Action.
You're locking the building down.
Oh yeah.
Go to the elevator. You need to get to the 4th floor.
I can't see. I don't know how to shoot this thing.
There are lots of reinforcements moving towards your location. A lot. Get going. They deployed kinetic barriers. You can't shoot through those. You'll have to find another way.
Okay. Maybe if it's lined up, it'll let me shoot. Oh, got it. Yeah, baby. Ah! 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 Fourth floor, baby.
Damn it. Something's wrong with the doors. Give me a few. I'll see if I can get them working again.
See, I have to dodge behind the wall. It's so cool. And you have to actually aim and everything. Good lordy.
Ow! Ugh! Ow! Ugh!
Got the elevator working again. Get in and head up to the 4th floor.
I got shot right in the side. My heart's pounding right here. 127. Okay.
Oh no, 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 no. Can't see you. I don't know, get my bearings down. Okay.
Good night there, Chris. I'll figure out something to stream. See, this part is just as good as the massage part and the torture part. You know?
No!
This part is just as good as the other part. This is one of my better VR videos. It's so cool. You don't even understand. Oh god.
Number 405.
I'm over here dodging bullets like Neo.
Better make this quick. Every
All right,
second you
enough of
spend at
this.
hotel gets you closer to being KI.
Such a cool game. That game was called Defector, but they'll never make a game like that ever again. Right? Right. They'll never make that game ever again. It's too good for nowadays. Too good.
This is great.
Better
My
believe.
gosh.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
Hey. Hey.
It was great, wasn't
Hello.
it? Hey. Hey.
I work with my mother.
I don't care.
Sell fruits and vegetables.
Out of my word.
It's fun most days.
That's cool. I work with my mother to sell fruits and
How's it
vegetables.
going, guard?
It's fun most
Would you
days.
like anything from the store? A
I
drink?
used to be an adventurer like you. And I took an arrow in the knee.
Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. You're jogging around here. Oh, they're drinking. Oh, the banded mare. How's it
We
going?
kill the dragon once, we can do it again.
I killed the dragon.
Of course.
Oh, you don't like that? You don't like that? You don't like that? You don't like that? I'm sorry.
I had to foost him up to let him know who's in charge here.
Hey, who?
We killed the dragon.
Let it
Shut up.
come.
I'm the guy that did it. Who the heck are
Where's
you?
my foos power? Oh god, they didn't like that. They didn't like I foosed him up. I foosed him up. How about I foosed you again? This isn't real. This is just a stream test. Stream test. Ooh. Running. Jumping. Fancy free. Don't shoot with the arrow. Don't do it. They can't follow me forever. Wait a minute. Did I lose him?
Some of these videos are really good, by the way.
Oh, man.
Some of these videos are pretty good.
What's he doing now? Something?
Thank you. Let's go. Gold.
So VR archery is really satisfying because it's just, you know, you're aiming with both your hands a little bit, and it's awesome. Like aiming with guns and aiming with a bow and arrow is pretty realistic. Only difference is recoil, but it's real aiming. It's how stable can you hold your actual hand, you know, and all that nonsense, which is awesome. That's why the shots in that last one was so goofy and fun, because there's accuracy isn't an issue. If you have a shotgun in your actual hand, you're just shooting things. If it was a video game, you might be missing. Never should have come here. Let's see here. This one?
Thank you. You're it. Say hello. Bye. Oh, you're paralyzed.
I think at that time I was only live on Twitch. This is before. I think this is before I was doing stuff on Facebook. To be honest, maybe I was cross-platform, but I was doing it on Twitch. I think you can fire arrows faster in VR than in reality. I think you can do it faster, you know. You know what I mean? Faster. Got a bad feeling about this.
Hey.
I work with my mother.
I work with my mother. Good old Sprint Vector. Lots of good games out there in the world. So, have we talked about what we want to see in our lives? Ba-do-ba-do. You want to see something really cringy? Something so cringy it's beyond belief?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome. Hey there, hey. How's it going? Welcome. Nice suit. Likewise. Yep. Telling you, they just don't appreciate my skills at work. Mind if I get this? Terrible. Telling you, I have this new idea to increase the power efficiency at the station by at least 80%. You don't say. Yeah, they have this new solar system, and I designed it myself using the leftover silicon wafers. And the wafers, very interesting. 1 second, I'm receiving a call on my uniform wrist here. It's very normal. Very normal indeed. 1 second, please. Okay, I was, talking about this new invention I made that... Candidate. Yeah. What? What did he say? Why are you laughing? I can hear you laughing. He can hear me laughing. Why is he laughing? But ignore all that. I know it must be very, very confusing for you humans with your primitive intellect, with your organic meat brain.
Barf.
What? But I am from the future of the human species. This Earth is going to be extinct very, very shortly, and we have opportunity. Not so much you, but you. Me? So you mean to tell me that you're from the future? Indeed, but I can't explain now. Opportunity first. So what's the opportunity? Huh? What is it? You being a primary speaker at a TED Talk? A TED Talk? Me being a speaker? I knew what would butter his biscuit. Mike, you were right. Hey, what, Sheila? So you'd be representing the company, the Federation. Well, whatever it is, if I get to be the primary speaker, I'm in. I also get a white coat. Oh, I always wanted a white coat. You'll learn more about your new position at the Federation during the briefing itself. Oh, okay. I guess it's standard. During the speech itself, you'll learn what your position is. That's a part of the obligation. I hope you don't mind. It's okay. I hope you don't mind. It's fine, I guess. Well, I guess it's time to sign that contract. Here you go. I guess that's a contract. Yep, just grab it. Wow, that's okay. All you gotta do is grab it. No, Jay, never seen something like this before. Yep, it's done already. Once you touch it, it's done. The polymer will grab your DNA. It's done already. DNA is an the future. I told you, it's the future. That's the future for you. Exactly. Give it back to me. Give it tomorrow, 8 p.m. Yes. Ted. We're doing it. Hello there, this is Gooboberti speaking on behalf of the other puppets used in this presentation. Can I say something finally, please? Okay, one second. No. So next episode is going to be. I want to talk about the next episode because I'm the star. You're the star of the next episode. Just so you understand, we are all the same person here. Okay, there's no competition. but the characters, they want to live and everything. So just stay tuned next episode to see what happens. TED Talk. All you have to do is like and subscribe.
The vomit is rising from the depths within my bowels. Oh God. Oh.
Whoa. All right, where are we? All right, this is not the ship. What is this? This isn't the ship. This is actually the control room of the local news station. Are we going to be in the news? We're going to be in the news, man. I was in contact with Federation Control. All right.
Terrible. Anyways. Oh boy. So that was some weird thing where you can control numerous characters in like a thing. All right. Oh my God. You can control numerous characters. Oh. Doing some stuff, you know what I mean. Yep. And trying to find something really quick, and then we'll do the streams. This right here. Ridiculous.
Dude, dip and dive. Dip and dive.
Died of it.
Well,
yeah, so in that one, they're coming from all around me. And you saw how fast it was. Okay, it actually takes quite a bit of physical energy to do this. Okay? Over and over and over again, forever. And for some of those things, right after I shot the cube, it would shoot a projectile right where my head was. So right after shooting, I would have to dramatically change my position, which is what was happening. Which is why it takes a lot. I did that one for a while. You know. Did that one for a bit. And did that for a bit, you know. I also did Fortnite, Save the World for a while, the PvE version of it, before Fallout 76, you know.
Dogfart. You just
Whoa.
needed to counter.
Jarrah's cavalry is closing in. Now our turret will prove its effectiveness.
This is from 7 years ago. You would have thought that technology would have gotten better over time.
Get the tower to pull the aggro first.
This shows you that a game like Diablo would work out very well in VR, but it wouldn't be like you're in first person. It would be overhead shot. It would work out perfectly. Any sort of third-person game works wonderfully in VR in this sense.
Ease back a little bit, just a little bit, a little bit. I want you.
Go back. I have high ground.
Careful. Jero's got archers at the top of the ramp. Ranged units shoot further from high ground, so you will have a hard time charging them uphill. I'd recommend gathering a force of at least 5 squads before trying to take them out.
Ride. Back up, back up, back up. Pull them away. Pull them away, pull them away. Fight them off.
Okay. Well. So what are we going to stream, huh? What are we going to stream? And who? What are you going to do? What? What?
Done it.
What? If I hunt down these guys, I'll hunt them down. Well then. Yeah, that mine, yeah, it was fun to make. It's just embarrassing with the voices and thing. It gets cringier than that, okay? It gets much cringier than that. I kind of cut it back. I was living in VR for... Somebody mentioned that my eyeball got messed up. I was living in VR for a bit, you know?
Meet my compatriot here. We were both lost in that terrible storm. He's getting his outfit on.
What the fuck is this?
I had a recreation of my situation in VR, 1-to-1, and it was awesome, you see? Where everything's in the same spot. Everything's in the same spot.
Here I am again, back in the virtual reality. This is my world. I created it with these fucking hands, these digital hands. Okay, time to...
That's before I started saying flim flam.
check out this dude's place. Shit.
Oh, that's clever.
So, I will be... I'm gonna tell him to go grab a chair. Wherever the chair is, remember? I'm gonna put a chair right there. Yeah, I'm gonna put a chair right there. Yeah, so if a person comes in, I need to give them a chair, right?
I was making my own... remember that Horizon Worlds? Are you if you're still here with me, give me a high one.
I have to remake all these chairs. These are all sort of temporary. The walls are semi-permanent. Most things here are temporary. Oh.
See, I made it where my eyeballs blink and look around, and my mouth moves whenever I talk and so forth.
I can make that be the primary view. Like, for example, I can make this right here be the primary screen. Now, as you can see, this is the primary one. So I can show you complex things like I'll delete.
And done. See, easy. That's all you gotta do.
So
A
you can
million-
see it from that angle. And anytime I could put
Click,
it
click,
back
click,
on
click,
my
click, 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 click.
See how it looks right there. It looks pretty good right there. See, good angle. And then we could view it back on this camera. So I could do a preview there. See, this is a little bit low, so now I know I have to do it a bit higher. But see, that'd be for a different demonstration. For any sort of like close-up stuff, you know, I guess I could just cut off right down below. See, this lower one's being cut off. I could push that a little bit further back, I guess. Let me try that.
Oh, cool. Okay. The yoked mode for grounded. Yeah. Go back over here. I never beat Baldur's Gate. You know. But I don't know about going back through the entire first portion again. And again. You know what I mean? Oh no. Oh yeah. Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, I think I recently reinstalled Helldivers. Helldivers is a game as well. But, you know, super action oriented. I could also get back into Marvel Rivals, but that's sort of a thing that you do on the side, not like a main thing. You know. Ouch.
Yeah, I see digging deep in the fiery glow. Lava rivers where the whispers blow. Power rails keep the journey tight. Blazing through the nether's endless night. Lay the track, let the engines roar.
Managed Democracy. June 12th.
Through the portal we ignite the night.
You know, I didn't feel like part 2 was that different than part 1, and then part 3 is not that different than part 2. You know? Kind of weird. Oh my gosh. My heart hurts. Gollum. What a funky little stupid game. You said that someone in the chat said that they got back into 7 Days to Die? Who is that? Who is that? Mind Show. There it is. There it is. Oh, you did? Okay. Is the 2.0 out yet, or no? I mean, what? Another update called Beacon? What? There's another update? Look, there's people in this town. It's not dead. It's not dead. No Man's Sky. Are they a bunch of geeble gobble people that can't speak English? Probably. know, forever. Hey, it's that one guy. There's a new graphical update in the form of Intel Flimflam. Okay, and you change or disable the voice comm of your exosuit, and improved base snapping. There's roving pirates. You can have a squadron of wingmen. A well-managed settlement. Oh, okay. Okay. Last time I played, I did find a settlement or two, and I did help them out, but it's like sort of rudimentary. Sort of like when Minecraft first came out, and there were NPCs already, and there were NPC villages, and you could do stuff with them, but it was kind of eh. But now, it's like an actual thing. I'm sure it'll... But now, most of my gameplay is working with the village and getting online. You know? Here, they're doing more with the existing settlements, which is good, I guess, or whatever. Level up building details across the whatever, weathered building materials, upgraded settlement materials. Each inhabitant can be conversed with their own abilities and attributes to manage. Camera manager, welcome settlers, resolve disputes. It looks kind of dead. But the cool thing is you can fly to that big old planet out there. You can just fly without the Starfield loading screen. This game exists. Is anybody still playing this game? 71 gigabytes? This once human game? I couldn't do this one because of the music was copywritten. Found it. Oh God. All right, enough of that. I give up. Hilarious. Hell World. See, there's a Tides of Terraria update coming with a bunch of Terraria monsters. Crazy. Archosaurus Rex. PlanetSide 2. It's a cool game. It's you know, it's like an open world PvP. You ever played this game before? Open world PvP game sort of thing with big compounds to take over and parts of the map you're taking over. It's been going on for a long time. I used to play every so often. Called PlanetSide. Part 2. Different factions. The infamous raw data that I got a skin from that I use in Rec Room, and then people every so often try to contact me trying to buy my Rec Room account because I have some skin from raw data. Rec Room. Looks like that. Is part of the reason why I don't play it, even though the gameplay is fun. But, you know, it has too much of a mixture of people of different ages, and people don't watch their mouth, and it could be a vile area where people don't care about what they say and how they talk around people of different ages. It's just a bad environment. I really enjoy the paintball and the laser tag and everything. The environment itself, of course, there's Red Dead Redemption 2. Is a beautiful, beautiful game. Redfall, never beat that one because it was kind of glitchy and weird, but I'm sure it's good now. But playing this one out of the blue, it's kind of a weird one. You know? Kind of a weird one. Major update. Sure. Sure. Rocket League is it's still its own standalone game. I thought that it's now just part of Fortnite. If you want to play it, go install Fortnite. Good old Satisfactory 1.1. Yesterday. What? Yesterday? There wasn't controller support in the game? Photo mode. Dolly mode. Crash site dismantling. Ooh, a personal elevator. Ooh. Ooh. A personal elevator. Oh, wow. And you can choose the icons and names and colors for each button for the elevator. A buffer stop. When mainly driving a train reaching the end of the railway, trains will now derail entirely. So I guess before a train would just stop, but now a train's able to get derailed if it goes off and they add a stop to it. Left-handed path and blocking signals. So building rails is easier now. A conveyor wall hole. Okay. I understand the difference. The difference here is that this hole can be placed anywhere on the wall freely, as opposed to the other kind of wall that already has a hole in the wall. Like centered, you know? It's like centered, or you have more than one. So that's cool. A splitter and merger support. The splitter and merger's capabilities have now improved. They could be attached to conveyor lifts, allowing more modularity to vertical builds. Splitters and mergers will attach to both the input or output of a conveyor lift. going up to the bottom. That's weird. You know? As opposed to through the side. That's a big improvement. What? A priority merger. Left, high. You can specify the priorities of the different lanes as they merge together. Conveyor throughput monitor. Ooh. That's cool. There's a lot of improvements here with this last update. Pipeline build nodes. Straight. So they didn't have the straight mode before? That's good. Curved. That's a clean setup right there. It is clean. The furthest go in the middle. Lesson learned. The furthest go in the middle. You could have as many as you have space for the platform. If you want more, you have to have a wider platform. In theory. To add more to this row, you have to have a wider platform that can accommodate more of these tubes. Hypertube junction. Three-way hypertube junction can be placed on its own. A three-way hypertube junction? What in the world? This is a major update. New architectural pieces, H-beams, shelf beam, round concrete beam, braided cable with a beam. Roll-up gate, road barrier corner, basic shelf unit, large vent. Automatic connectors of stuff and blueprints. So basically, if you have a blueprint and you want to connect it to an existing build, it'll show you that it's linking up. Flashlight, drone movement, and pathing improvements. Now there's vertical nudging. Nudging as in like you can nudge things over a little bit. Falling trees. Yay! Before the trees just like disappeared or something. Boring gas pillar visual effects. Okay, well, how do y'all feel about watching Satisfactory? They've improved the graphics on the power slugs. They've expanded on the narrative to include more voice lines and old content and interactions. And it came out yesterday. Guess I have to do it, you know? And I just installed it like 2 days ago. Alright, so I'll be back with this. And I'll be doing this for about a month or so, huh? Now, on the side, I want to be working on other stuff as well. Because I have to make more money.
I'm soaring high
But thank you for being here with me during my time of horrible crisis. Elevator. Rounded concrete things. And Bosco. Okay. Well, I'll be back in just a bit. Okay. And I'll begin. And I'll try to be good. I'll try to be good. Alright, catch y'all later, everybody. And I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Oh, yes. I was talking about sharing about politics for a second, about like, worldview and everything, but it's actually quite interesting. And I don't share my opinions on Facebook because I think Facebook is more sensitive about these subjects than other services. And I don't really believe the things I say. I sort of do. But I'm more calling out like hypocrisy or illogical nonsense or, just inconsistencies or an observation thing. I don't really care. I do care about some things, but usually I'll just poke a hole in something. It's kind of a troll thing. But kind of a good troll because I'm not like lying and I'm not doing ad hominem attacks, And by troll I mean I'm in some environment where I know there's going to be some sort of backlash, but I'm doing it because I want people to think more about what they're even saying. In the same way that I'm do my streams because I want people to try in life and not give up and sort of rely on their self on the self and their own faculties and the ability to acquire knowledge and then apply it as opposed to just going with the flow, because there's negative consequences with just going with the flow, as you can imagine. Not that I'm trying to prevent those negative things to save the world or something, but same thing on like X or something. If I write a bunch of stuff, I just want people to think about things. There's stuff going on right now in the world and California, and people have their opinions on things, and I think it goes too far one way or the other. It's just perception based primarily. It's a lot of fear and perception, and I'm aware that there's power in those things. There's power in fear management, and you could say that everyone is taking advantage of this, of the fear management crisis reaction, but I know the truth. Sort of obvious. I'll just say a couple things on that note, okay? Step one. If there's one person throwing rocks at the front of a store and they're surrounded by 20 people with cameras, they feel a bit more immune because they're with a group of people, even though they're just journalists. And that's usually how it occurs. You have just a couple people and they're surrounded by people with cameras and they're just there, but they're adding weight to their actions and support by cheering and so forth and so on. So it's part of the problem. If you have 10,000 people and you have 20 bad eggs and they're at the front line of the problem and they are actively doing bad things, and then the entire thing gets canceled and people don't leave, and then start to put up barricades and body armor with designated medics and face masks and, triage units like it's a darn war. They brought umbrellas with them and projectiles, and they have techniques for hiding tear gas. Come on. How about you just don't go anywhere near the tear gas? Not a problem. There is no danger. So in other words, in terms of fear management, you got two sides here, okay? One side is saying, big bad thing is happening, and you need to show your support by getting out there and let them know that you don't want the big bad thing to happen because it's really bad. Oh boy, it's bad. It's changing the world. It's so evil and bad. Get out there and show your support that you don't want, and try to stop it, actually. Get out there and try to stop it. Passively stop the thing. How do you do that? Shut down the roads and just block them with your body. And do whatever you gotta do to not be physically aggressive, because that's illegal. Just do everything else you can do just to stop this big bad thing. And then you encourage, everyone to go outside. Everyone. And from my perspective, people have been trained to go with the flow on one side more than others. By saying, this is the big thing that you're supposed to care about. Now get out there. Unless you don't care about the world, you're going to get out there and complain about women's rights or climate change or, police brutality. There's going to be some big thing that everybody has to show up for, and then school gets canceled for everyone. And then the next thing is this. So now the next big thing that you have to support is this. So you have the entire city outside, because why would you not go where the party is? And it's a party, and of course within that group you're going to have bad eggs. Of course, with any population, and any smart person knows that within any large population you have bad people that take opportunity. So why wouldn't the people in charge know this? Of course they would know this, okay? Especially if you rile it up and say it's really bad, If you don't, hide the bad, exaggerate the good, make it seem like it's really bad, But you're encouraging it, and of course it's gonna. Well, it doesn't take that many bad people to make something really bad, and then once you have a few bad people, it's contagious. You give the green light for the person that was right next to them that was on the fence. You don't even know how many people are bad, and there are people out there that actively don't like the country, and they want to see it all burn. They talk about it all day long, about watching it burn and rebuild. They don't like capitalism. They want to see it all burn. And they talk about it unironically all day long. And now this is their moment. They always show up in these things, and, what they do. So this is their moment. And if that is the sort of the premise that federal law is bad and we get to fight against it, as a group, it turns into a civil war scenario. And it's manufactured by the people that are making the law seem like it's evil. And by encouraging people to get out there and do something about it. So get out there and show your support by standing in the road with your 10,000 friends. Hopefully none of you throws a rock. Just my take on it. But see, that's me not even addressing what the issue even is. It's just, from my observation, it's it's obvious. Really obvious that there's going to be bad people that always take opportunity to do bad things, especially if that is the entire premise, that everything is bad, mixed with a general consensus that rich people deserve to get robbed or something and killed or something like that. And who cares about $1 billion corporations anyways? Who cares about that store getting robbed? And mixed in with the whole mentality, you're going to have chaos. You know, and then if you take preemptive action, that's seen as a bad thing. They're saying the entire blame is painted on the reaction to the bad, you know, or the preventative nature for the bad. They're saying, can you imagine that they're using National Guard to guard the White House? We should go there and tell them that we don't like the fact that they're using that and try to attack them and get them to do something. I mean, even if it gets to the point where a person pulls out a weapon and aims it at the line of cops and shoots, and if the cops shoot back, it doesn't matter. You know how the media is going to paint that. It doesn't matter. You could have done something else. It's only one of him, and you guys have body armor. Sort of thing. And they'll be worse. And there'll be people talking about, we need to get more of them. Pigs in a blanket. You know? So, it's clearly like a weird worldview thing about the whole nature of society and Western civilization in general, and wishing to see everything torn down and rebuilt in some other image. And this is just an opportunity, an excuse. And of course the whole framework with the whole notion of it. You know? But that's just mine. But I will be coming back with Satisfactory. Because there's a new update immediately. Will I enjoy it? I don't know. I did try starting a game. Whoops. I did try starting a game here. And then stopped. Alright. So I think I'll do this. Alright, everybody? So in terms of my future projects, I plan on making like music videos for some of those songs I made. Using like AI and still images. Like a montage of still images to match what the lyrics are about. Kind of like what I did with a couple songs. I did it with one song, I think. With that bend and break thing. Because sometimes the lyrics come and go and you're not really paying attention, you know? And there's some pretty meaningful moments. And if I just have some basic graphics here and there of like Tyrael falling from the sky and so forth and so on, and you know, just a couple moments here and there, including some cinematics from this actual universe, whatever, and the occasional gameplay. Yeah, I really do think that some of those songs are good. It's just you sort of have to listen to the whole thing to appreciate its quality. You know, by the time it's all over, and if you paid attention to the lyrics and everything, you get a good feeling by the time it's over, and it's epic. You know? Otherwise, it's just some noises. But anyways, yep. Satisfactory coming up, and I'll try to do a good job from scratch. I think when I first started playing, I didn't have as many cosmetic things active, but I'm going to try to be as cosmetic as possible the entire time, okay? My goal is to be as cosmetic as possible. Sometimes I try to get the logistics online before the enhanced cosmetics, or I do it at the same time. This time I'm going to do it at the same time. I'll try to do it, whatever. Anyways, those rounded concrete curves look new. See at the corner here? And these concrete stairs and rounded concrete things and these other in-between concrete slabs. Weird. I think that this game here would be like a little bit better if there is an actual hazard. The creatures aren't a threat and there are no waves of enemies. I think if you're actively in a bad area where there are bad guys, they will be up there on the hill trying to attack you. And if there's enemies up on that hill, like a big brute thing that spawns all the time, he'll probably always be there until you build something too close to it, and now all of a sudden he no longer spawns there. I'm just guessing. If you build right on top of that spot, he won't be there anymore. I don't know the exact spawn rules. And it's never too dangerous right outside, you know? It's sort of missing that element. Some sort of invasion with giant laser turrets. The game Factorial was great because you had this problem of these multiplying bugs, and you had to stay on top of it. 7 Days to Die has this issue where if you're too lazy and slow with your development, you're gonna die because of your lack of preparation. So half of what you're doing is preparing for this big moment, but here that moment never comes. You can take as much time as you want. There is no critical time window. Ever. But anyways, I'll be right back, okay? Thank you for watching. And, yeah. I shed human tears. Goodbye. And follow me on X. I think X is going to be big eventually. And if, you know, I'm sort of ahead of the power curve there, you know, so if it ever does blow up on X, I'm already ready for it. Like, if all of a sudden X, and by X I mean Twitter, if all of a sudden X starts advertising as a competitor to Twitch and Kick, you know, then I'm already in. Just need to work on it a bit more. And Elon Musk needs to shut up. Shut up. I was on your side. What are you going to say these things for, Elon? Why? Papa? Why did he do it? Right. I'll be right back. Goodbye. Goodbye. Let's rock and roll this thing. I'll be back soonish.